This is Michael David Cobb Bowen for Cobb Vision. All race, all the time. Today is race day. It's Friday, and we are talking about the poor victim of circumstance, Henry Louis Gates Jr., also known to us in the black intelligentsia as Skip. So, you've heard the story, you've heard the news, you've heard the deal, you've heard all that kind of thing, and you've made up your mind one way or another. I am today thinking about racing class and what Skip Gates tells me that I should do. And understand that I like Skip. I've met him. He's a genuinely, if there's anybody who deserves to be a Harvard professor, he has got the attitude, he has got the demeanor, he's got all that down. I just love him as a Harvard snob, and I think he's especially cool and bougie in the coolest, bougiest way that ought to be. But for all the years that we had to deal with, Fred Sanford and Scatman Crothers as what an older black man is supposed to be like, Gates is refreshing. He is the Poindexter of the moment. Except Gates, he grew up in the country. I read his book Colored People a long time ago, and Gates was kind of an exceptional kid, and he wasn't raised in bougie circumstances. So sometime, someplace deep down under Skip Gates' layers below his user interface and his operating system kernel, there's a little country boy down in there. And that accent is not going to come out except, I guess, under unusual circumstances and stress. And I think a little bit of that happened not far from his doorstep last week. And he just talked about somebody's mama, which you just don't do automatically. So I'm thinking, in the construction of Fletcher Foundation Endowed Chair University Professor of Distinction, W.E.B. Du Bois Center Director at Harvard University, editor of the Norton Anthology of African American Literature, which I happen to have on my shelf over here, and producer of PBS documentaries and all these other distinguished things, you get to be that. And I'm proud of him for getting to be that. But you don't get to be Pookie. You don't get to be Mumia Abu Jamal. You don't get to be Amadou Diallo. You get to be who you are. And you are an Ivy League professor who walks with a cane and has a salt and pepper beard and wears the horn-rimmed glasses and has a driver and lives in a nice house in Cambridge, Massachusetts, which is one of the most liberal cities in America. So, I guess his message to me is, don't fake the funk. Don't pretend that you're something you're not. Because, you will alienate both people. Both people. You'll alienate the guy on the street who knows you're not one of them, and you'll alienate us in the suburbs who thinks like you can just jump out of that and come out the end bag anytime you feel like it. And that's disturbing to all of us. And quite frankly, racism is big as it used to be. It might be in some people's heads that that you can do both things, that you can jump class lines and you can jump cultural lines and you can code switch and you can be part of this because you're a part of Black America and you can be part of that because you're part of Black America. But if you went to Catholic school, don't pretend to be Baptist. If you got a Harvard education, don't pretend you went to state. If you work with overalls and a wrench, don't pretend that you're a computer scientist. Be who you are. We like you just the way you are. Who wrote that corny song? Don't go changing to try to make headlines, because we know you got a driver of your car. Anyway, Skip is still going to be Skip. He's still going to be a Harvard professor. He's still going to have his best friend, Charles Ogletree, Randall Kennedy, all those superstar academics. You know, Cornel West. I think Cornell is actually a little bit more funky because he's got the fro, you know, and he did The Matrix, and he likes doing that kind of stuff. But Skip, don't do that, Skip. We like you as you are, with the get some suspenders, you know, and a tie, and you got the elbow patches and the tweed jacket, and the glasses. That's cool. And the cane. Man, that's righteous. Don't be pretending to be Mumia Abu Jamal. Don't grow dreads. Don't get up and say power to the people. We don't believe you. Your voice, you don't even have enough bass in your voice, Skip. You can't do that. So, anyway, for all of us okie doke bourgeois, upper middle class and upper class, sophisticated, large word speaking Negroes in America, please don't try to be a radical. And don't do another documentary about how you're like everybody else, because it don't work. It don't work. This is Michael Taylor Cobb Bowen, keeping it bourgeois real.